Hello Libra, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your reading for the week of the 4th to 10th of November. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. You continue to be my biggest fan. The readings you have on my videos are amazing. I love each and every one of you. I'm so glad I have you on this journey. If you haven't joined yet, subscribe button's just below. If my readings don't resonate with you, however, feel free to move on or check up other aspects of your star sign or your natal chart even. So the cards I'm using for your reading are the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. Beautiful cards. They're very sort of, what do they call it? Gothic pictures, I guess you would call them. They're beautiful. What else can I do? If you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, please look for the box below. I tried to put the details about myself in the weekly videos. I don't always get the chance to do that during the week because I'm working. So please check up. If you wish to donate, then there's a donate button on my website as well. So please feel free to do that if you would like to. Okay, Libra. What's coming up for you? Oh, another major arcana. We have had all major arcanas and all aces come up as the energy of the week. The only card who didn't get it was Scorpio, who got a minor arcana card. But every other one of you has had an ace or a major arcana. Major arcana strength. Now, first thing I'll always acknowledge with this card is you could be dealing with a Leo this week. But the strength card is about you feeling a place where you feel incredibly stable, really in your own energy. It talks about taming the beast. In this particular card, she's got a knight racing up behind her too, which I've not really noticed before, so I'm not sure the significance for that. But you've got the lion on your lap. So you definitely tamed this beast, right? And there may be another one coming in to be tamed as well. So, okay, enough of that. Let's move on. So, strength card followed by the 9 of coins. Look at you go, Libra. So you've not only tamed your beast, you've not only stepped into yourself with this strength card, but you're also feeling very single and independent and very comfortable with that, I might add. So in this card, we see a woman who's sort of adorned with beautiful clothes. She does have a hawk. I think it's a hawk. It might be a peregrine falcon or something. It's only a small bird anyway. She has a sheep as well. I digress. She is very, very comfortable. She has money growing everywhere, money growing on trees. She has everything she needs. So she's very comfortable being single. Okay, and then we have the 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands talks about being defensive, being a little sort of protecting yourself in a way, you know, putting defenses up, fighting for what you think is right, that sort of energy. I don't know why you're fighting for some reason to be independent here, though. And maybe because you've become more independent and you've got that strength card up front, maybe this is what you're doing to defend your honour, sort of thing. Okay, the next card out is the World. Now, the World talks about finishing or closing off cycles. It is sort of the end of the tarot deck, so I think that's why, because when you see the progression of, you know, the cards through, it's right at the end of that progression. So it is about finishing off cycles. It also can talk about, you know, having everything at your hands, and it can also talk about travel. So whatever this is for you. But it looks like here that you may be finishing off a cycle here. I think you're fighting the end of a cycle. So maybe you've been on your own for a long while and you're fighting being single. Not wanting to be single, maybe. So then we have the King of Wands. Now the King of Wands can represent the Leo, and we had Leo at the beginning, remember? Leo, Aries or Sagittarius. Now, the King of Wands is a man who often he's very attractive. I mean, he could be good looking, but he's certainly an attractive man. He's well-to-do, he looks after himself, he's confident, he's fiery and passionate, and he has that little glimmer in his eye, you know, that sort of says that he's really in charge of who he is. He's very clear and succinct in the way he talks, so he commands a little bit of presence. You could be dealing with this person this week. It doesn't feel like your energy. When I feel out the Strength card and the 9 of coins, it's a very different energy. So it's very possible some of you this week may be meeting someone who is going to make you question whether you want to be independent anymore. Because I see you being very defensive about this. So maybe you like them, but you're quite comfortable with who you are. Oh, very nice. Okay, and then I have the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords talks about the ultimate betrayal. Okay. You can see a person laying on the ground with a lot of swords in their back. So they've usually been through something pretty bad. But what I can say to you is this is the end of a cycle here. And I've got other things talking like with the world that you're finishing something up here. I'm going to do a bit of a recap in a minute. So we also have the 9 of Wands, which talks about, being so wounded from past experiences that you've put fences up around yourself now. So what I see here, okay, I can see a person who has been on their own perhaps for a little while. They're very comfortable being single. They've really worked on themselves and they're feeling very, very much at home in who they are. The thing is, I see some cycle closing out now because I think somebody's coming along to change the way you view things. And I feel like with these 2 cards here, you're going to have to put these to rest. I feel like you've gone into, being in this time of wanting to be by yourself, wanting to be on your own because of past hurts. But you see, there's only so much time. I mean, you could still choose to be on your own here. But the world sort of tells me that something's going to change. And whether that's your attitude to it or whether that is actually changing to move towards someone else. The thing is, you're being very defensive and very protective here. I don't know, with this 10 of Swords here, you probably were very hurt in the past. But if you want to make a start with someone new, you're going to have to drop them because they're coming in to make you an offer. How exciting. There's an offer coming in here, and it is an offer of love. It comes in a cup shape. So for some of you Librans out there, you have become very, very comfortable with being single here. Very comfortable. You've got quite protective over it and quite defiant about it. I can see that here. But I think someone's coming in to break down your defences. Might take a little bit of time out to view this from a different perspective. Maybe you have been a little bit unapproachable. Maybe it is time to rethink whether you want to go out into the world again and be with someone else. Because this person is going to offer you something and it's going to be very hard for you to resist. So this is about equal give and take. And I feel like for a lot of you that you've been in this single situation because you haven't had the best luck at relationships. I have to be honest with you. It feels to me that you've chosen to be single because you haven't encountered the right person. And I feel like you've become defensive and put boundaries up around yourself for self-protection. Not that boundaries are a bad thing, but the reason you've got them up is because you don't want to be hurt again. And somebody is coming in now to offer you something new, and it's going to challenge how you see things now. So whatever happens here, you're about to finish out a cycle and move on with somebody new. Oh, look at this. You are the Empress. Wow, I'm really surprised we didn't see some of the other soulmate twin flame cards coming in here. I think this is your person. Because look at this. Wow. So, Libra, not going to be single for much longer. For the people who are already in relationships, I think that you are learning to accept your relationship as a partnership rather than two of you individually living together. I think there's a change in your relationship that perhaps broadens you out because you've got the end of a cycle here. So maybe your relationship is going to move to a new level. Maybe you're going to work on some of this protective stuff that you've had around your heart. Maybe you're going to open up and inject some more love into your relationship, because I definitely see with the Justice card and Hanged Man here, this is part of what you're destined to do here. The Justice card is a card of karma. It's a card of, giving equal give and take. So maybe your relationship is about to take on a new level. But with this Empress card here, you could be falling pregnant too, because that would change the status of this relationship, especially if you've been trying for a while because of this defensiveness and heartbreak here. So it's very possible that you've finally fallen pregnant, or you're about to give birth to something new which changes the way your relationship is. Okay. Let's get you an oracle card. Nice reading, Libra. Oh, straight out. Oh, reason. I've had this a couple of times already. So reason talks about listening to advice, thinking clearly, and using your intellect. So I'm not even going to use the book on this because I've already read it a few times now. What this talks about is sometimes when you need to act on something, you need to speak to someone about it. It's not always easy to move forward and accept something without talking that out with someone. And what this card is saying is that it's okay sometimes to go and speak to someone and get some sort of advice. There's no problem with that. So if this is you and you're worried about moving forward and you're worried about getting hurt, or you're concerned about what this end of this cycle might be, then it's okay to go and have a chat with someone and get it clear in your head before you move forward. Because you can't deny yourself. If it's something you're considering, if you still want to remain single, fine. If you still want to be the same as you were in your relationship, that's fine too. But what it's saying here is you need to close out this cycle. But I think this cycle is about you being defensive and closing yourself off rather than moving from single to partnered. But anyway, Libra, have a great week. Thanks.